though for this matchup. 7 maps. We'll trim them down one by one to get to our actual map. And where will we go? Console.
You go to theme park again?
No.
G2 banning it actually after playing it last week. Understandable, right. I suppose.
Well,
Clubhouse is actually kind of a bad map for G2. They've played it 3 times and all 3 times got 5-7. And 2 of those were to the same team, Rogue. So that they haven't really improved itself on this map.
All right, so there's the attacking side there. That's where G2 will start. That's the meaning of the symbol as you see it on our graphics. But that is our map veto. What does everybody at home think? That's what I'm interested in now. G2, Na'Vi, Doki's return. There's so many factors to keep track of. And will this go G2's way or not? It will. 78% for the Samurai, 17% for Na'Vi with a 5% draw. My.
That's a lot of people that don't realize it's a Monday. Just G2, there's almost no % chance that they win just based off of that alone. So, all the super team aside, all that does is get them some rounds before they lose, just based off of the day of the week. Vitality knows that pain well.
This whole super team thing, I mean, this is just part of a joke, but you can't just call yourself a super team if you're not there has to be something.
Fabian can call himself the best player in the world, so this is a team with a history of just.
He actually won something.
True.
He actually won something, and he was one of the top-rated players in every tournament they played in, and won in the end. So, I mean, sure, it's like me calling myself the best caster in the world. I know technically it's true, but it's not it's not on the same level, right? I know. I hear you just trying not to laugh your butt off, but. You're trying, Devin. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Don't worry. We're the analysts in this. Kix and Tara are the casters. You're the analyst. I'm the host. That's how it works. That's how we're gonna.
That's what this is. Yeah, this is a desk now.
Yeah, actually, I'd be completely down for it. People really underestimate the fun of seeing Rainbow Six as a strategy game because there's so much around it that revolves with strategy and how you build every part of your defense and attacking. It just makes it a bit more exciting to me sometimes looking at it from that perspective than it is directly in the game and seeing the big frags and big kills. It's the enablers that sometimes is more interesting. And actually, Desuchu was tweeting about this, I think, yesterday, and this is something all casters relate to, is that you miss so much when you're actually casting, and it's not until you go back and watch the VOD yourself, slow things down and pause things, that you see I missed this here, this there, and I could have improved more speaking about this strategy because I didn't see this. We were preoccupied in explaining other parts. You really have to pick which topic to talk about when there's so much to speak about. And this is something that our coworker James actually highlighted in those replies. So yeah, definitely true from our perspective.
And just so everyone knows, everyone's in the lobby. We're just waiting on both teams to be ready. So I'd probably just take another 20 seconds at most here, but I think...
look, it's a G2 game, which means we're probably going to have a 3-hour delay.
But it also means Fabian's not in the in-game chat memeing, so it's kind of a little less entertaining.
I think he's playing Mountain Blade. Is he not? Let me check my friends list.
Oh boy. Milo's pretending he has friends. Here we go. Everyone play along at home.
Okay. No, it seems like he's not playing right now. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, here we go. Into the game. Just be a second here. There we go. Clubhouse time. Which hard breachers will be banned this time? And will Thatcher be banned? That's always the question.
So, top bans in, and first out, Maverick. Monty, ooh. Okay. G2 is the team that brings Monty a lot.
They brought it pretty heavily on Theme Park in that last matchup. I can understand it. Pangu's very good at it. That's why Pangu's laughing right now.
Maverick ban? Thatcher. Maverick? Capital. Okay. Is this the moment for me to tell you about our Lord and Savior Maverick and how good he is?
Well, he's certainly going to be in play here. No, all their strats out the window. Goyo going to go next. All right. This is something I could understand. G2 don't necessarily want to have to deal with as much of the utility soak, and taking out Goyo really can help prevent some of that 20-second meta. Monty was also something that helped with that, but since that's banned, I can definitely understand the Goyo ban.
And there's Wamai.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
Finally,
you.
Some unusual
Also,
bans here.
just banning an operator doesn't mean that or the ability to ban him doesn't mean that he's suddenly fixed or, isn't problematic in some way. But Goyo might probably be nerfed down to 2 shields instead of 3. We saw that in the def notes, by the way. For people that didn't see any of that, should probably go and, check it out yourself. They were released, I think, 2 days ago. So very interesting notes there to see. But here we are again. 2 hard breachers. We'll have a thermite. No, looks like the Maverick and the Jackal. Hello.
Oh, sneaky. Church it will be first. So not as important to have the Maverick and the Hibana. You'd rather have the Thermite and the Hibana on this attack, honestly, because then you can handle the hatches and Thermites better at the walls, like Church Wall you might want to go after. But at the same time, they didn't know which bomb site it would be, so they're just preparing for either one. And both of those operators will be good at getting hatches. The nice thing is the Maverick does help in dealing with Kendrew's Kide play. So if there are hatches like the one in bar or stock that he wants to get that are relatively safe positions to be opening for long periods of time, he can do so without having to worry so much about the Electric Claw. And then that can save, of course, those X-Kairos for opening up the kitchen hatch, possibly. And if they want to open up any other walls. That being said, if you're Kendrew, then you're going to want to, of course, focus on dealing with the kitchen hatch. They have some impacts at the very least from Maestro, so they can Electric Claw it, they can Impact Trick it. That possibly might be enough to at least burn up most of the X-Kairos and have Maverick doing his thing on the other 2 hatches. So we'll see how they use that utility, but that would be the appropriate play. They may also have impacts on the Legion. Looks like he could be playing dirt. Actually, they're opening up dirt with the Maverick very early here while Virtue watches. I like that, the way that Maverick set a hole for him to watch so he can more safely do his job. Very smart.
That's enough there, and just watching and checking. Yeah, you don't usually actually see that extra Maverick hole being placed for someone to support him. So that's actually some good play there from G2. And there's the default cam taken out. You can't crawl through that tiny hole.
He tried. He's not Buck. Uno has been playing a lot of great Buck, by the way. So I could definitely understand that mentality that he's in.
So there's Kanto. Again, the Zofia pressuring from blue. We've seen it so many times, and it's going to be, a common thing, to say the least. It's just so good to have the Zofia in there. She can stun, push people out, and then the power of the 7.62 with caliber-based destruction is that you can find people in the back. And actually, look at the reinforcements. There's 2 reinforcements at the wall behind the generator. So you're not going to find that angle that I was talking about. And that's good play from Na'Vi, as it has caused some damage to G2 and other teams in the past not having that angle to play, which means you're going to be boxed inside of blue even if you take it.
Good nade attack there from Virtue, who took over the Buck roll. And they're going to have nades from Pengu as well, so they'll have 2 sets because of Maverick having grenades now. Some damage done to Citizen, but he turns it into down on Panics in their finish, but it gets traded back by Kendrew. So that is now Hibana down. Hopefully they could get Maverick to do some job, but I think that means Kitchen Hatch very unlikely to be open. So good counterplay there. Important kill, not really worth the trade versus getting the Kitchen Hatch open. Honestly, had he gotten that done first, then it would have been a worthwhile trade onto the Legion. But yeah, now it's going to be a little trickier. They could still have Maverick try and open it, but it's super risky to be doing so. So they could actually go with this play here from Dirt, from Uno. I like that he can use those footprints as well to help track whoever might be in there. Nello is expecting it. The drone ahead pretty much gives it away, and he's going to smoke to push it back while the rest of the team makes a play here, but only 35 seconds left to actually get something going. In the meantime, it's just really distracting the smoke.
Oh, look at Doki. He dives right into him. Kanto, the mistake to drop into oil pit with no information. An extra smoke will be thrown out as there's the kill on the Jackal. Saves with 1 more, but he's going to get taken down thanks to the Maverick, but it's only Pengu left. He's free-flying around every corner. It's not going to matter much. Doki, already in charge, immediately rotates up and swings wide into the bar. He's going to have a cool drink there as he admires the bodies that are on the floor. Very well done there from Na'Vi. Man, they just boxed them in. This was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, G2 losing their ability to open the kitchen hatch was a huge blow to that, because then they couldn't watch the angle under the dirt tunnel and continue to try and pressure that as well. But it also meant that they pretty much gave away their angles of approaches. I liked that the Jaeger of was that Doki was playing in a position, or maybe it was Saves actually, was playing in a position that was unusual. You're mentioning the reinforcements being a little bit differently. He was playing a much more unconventional position. Usually you could have the Jaeger behind the generator, and that's such a predictable, Zofia versus Jaeger thing that we see time and time again. Playing it a little bit differently, having to rotate a little bit differently, and countering the oil pit more aggressively definitely worked out. Because, you did need a pressure from oil pit as well, but the fact that as you said, he did it blind, obviously didn't work out. They're going to have the Echo here available because it wasn't Echo, Maestro, or Mira getting banned since it was the Wamai Goyo. No impacts here to be doing any kind of impact tricking on this garage walls, but you don't see that all that often anyways.
Let's recap this, by the way, for people watching. Doki is back in play. He got 2 kills now in this first round. Of course, that's twice as much as Intero will ever have playing in Pro League, that's for sure. And on top of it, you make fun of him. Haha, Doki Pro player still has 0 kills in PL. Here he is. 2 kill death ratio, actually infinite kill death ratio, as he has not died. Divide 2 by 0. You're the math guy here, Emzo. Is that even possible? Error. There you go. The robot himself is falling apart. So it just shows the level of play here expected and shown by Doki. So, Doki Frag Heavy Club.
If he can call the match now, then he can, be the best player in Pro League with an infinite KD. See if they can get this wall open, though. I imagine they'll be going for some level of attention on this, but no, it doesn't matter, actually, because none of the players in Na'Vi can do anything to stop the wall from being open, as they don't have any breach denial. No bandit, no mute. Really, not a whole lot denying droning either because of this. They're really focused on being able to play their positions and have a little bit of counter intel from the Black and Evil Eyes. So it's on G2 to start to whittle that down in terms of positions they can play and just isolating them. No special utility to help make a plan happen, but 4 grenades, if they can clear those ADSs, especially with Wamai banned, should be pretty doable to take out those Evil Eyes, Goyo also banned, so that even less they need grenade for on Zofia's impacts on top of that. So plenty of utility for G2 to work with.
One thing I want to highlight, though, you saw this specific wall here trying to enter into server. If you want to learn exactly how to take it and very efficiently, I highly recommend watching SSG take this. The way they run their Maverick, their Thermite, and their Zofia for these rounds just means that that wall, and you can count it yourself, goes down in 10.5 seconds flat. Really good efficiency on it here. G2 are obviously waiting because they know there's more behind that wall. They want to get more information before they open it up completely. But Uno's waiting for a kill on the rotation. He noticed one player from Na'Vi playing roaming and wide away from the site itself. And there's the Buck downstairs trying to do work from the stock room. And again, Panics is trying to move around his teammates or his opponents, They're saves with a headshot though on a Pengu. They're going to lose one player, but the refrag from Citizen is almost immediate. Panics on the rotation might be her, but no, they're off the angle. The drone's been just now destroyed, and the Maestro is going to be holding it down, but Virtue from below will do the work with the skeleton key here on the C8. Citizen with one more on the Panics, deleting the roaming player, has been waiting for him the whole time, and now it's up to the last 2 players sitting on site. They're going to split, and Doki will take the eastern stairs, and Kendrew will now come into service. This one player holding the diffuser down on the floor. Doki will confirm the second kill, but Uno will find Kendrew. There's still yokais around this. 3 seconds left. You have to go and plant, and Doki's just going to run away. Where's the second one? Oh, no! It's the perfect position! Can he actually set it? No, too slow! The diffuser's going to be set, and Doki's going to have to walk up the stairs and fight this alone. These little angles that he has to walk into this, and the line of fire held by Uno is the Jackal to get the kill. G2 tying it 1-1.
Well, there goes Doki's infinite KD. Fortunately, could not clutch it out. Just as you mentioned, bad position of the yokai. It does surprise me that we're not seeing G2 running IQ, as Citizen been doing a decent job of that in the past. But they're really, they want to make sure that they can clear effectively and that they have the hard breach that they want. So I can understand the trade-off. It's working out okay for them. I mean, they're also doing a great job of making sure that they're ready to catch a lot of players. It was a little bit of amateur hour in Pengu getting down by that run out, though. He really should have had better coverage. On that, you shouldn't be getting down by those runouts at this level of play. You got to be prepared for it, especially when no Valkyrie's getting played. There's very often outsized kennel cams. They're going to be thrown in different positions, and you're going to have to worry about those. So hopefully they are a little bit better prepared for that this time. This is the same attack going on to the same bomb site. But that also means Na'Vi should be a little bit better prepared, but they are going to bring something different this round in the Mozzie. Still nothing to deny the actual wall from being opened, but at least something more to deny the drones I think is a good idea. It's not going to do anything to stop Jackal, however, so they have to keep that in mind.
Double shields being brought here by Na'Vi. Two sets of barbed wire as well, one for Maestro and one for the Jaeger, and Panic's bringing in the Nitro Cell. Yeah, you talked about it. They forego that lineup with the Valkyrie just running around the map. It didn't really accomplish anything for Na'Vi, and unfortunately, Panic's was just predicted, spotted. The Jackal is there just for that.
It's still been working out decent for Uno, who is really great as a flank player overall. If you watch the way he plays, he's very good at taking advantage of all the mobility he has as an attacker and the distractions that his teammates provide to be able to get those late flanks and a lot of positions where he's able to catch players on rotates. And I think that's boded very well, especially playing as a Jackal here. I think is a good role for that. Obviously needs good coverage and job being done from his teammates, but at least they're watching the door this time for those runouts, putting pressure as well on from the other side towards connector. This is where they just need to make sure that they're not getting caught by those Mozzie pests, and that they're prepared for where the yokai is going to be positioned, as they almost lost last round due to the yokai. It just happened to be in a bad position for Doki.
So there's everybody spotted playing behind the shield, and there's a tap to take down the drone. Zofia's come in to the garage storage, and they're peeking around the corner. Oh, Kanto had a headshot on Adoki, eliminating the flank here, and they're going to try to walk up, but Saves is already collecting kills, and the Maestro Virtue just unable to find anyone there. I'm not sure what G2 saw. Maybe they're like, okay, players from Na'Vi are all on the site. Let's push in. Let's see what we can do. But man, Na'Vi just collected every head there.
Definitely a situation where a rush attempt basically from G2 when they thought they had an advantage did not work out at all. You can't rush a Maestro. I mean, from the kill cam as well, it looked like the Maestro should have easily been killed by Buck, but just maybe timing wasn't there on his side. And a great attempt by G2 stopped very, very easily because they all kind of stacked into one spot. There's only so many spots you could be in when you're all pushing through a single hole like that. So not a huge surprising result. We will see a bit more delay here with the old Mute Mozzie Vigil Castle, basically the SSG special coming out here for Church. So they're looking to burn a lot more time on this rather than focusing on denying the hatch the way they did last round. So I think this is a good idea. They will still have to contend with the Jackal tracking them down, but no other roam control or counter is being brought. There's no Lion, there's no Dokkaebi, there's no Nomad, there's no Gridlock, so they're not really doing much to really do anything about the roam outside of the Jackal. So if they could just, avoid getting their footprints tracked, they'll be fine.
So Panic's now back on that Valk. He got saves on the Vigil. It's just cool to see that Na'Vi are switching players around on different roles, but G2 are doing the same thing. You saw Pengu playing 3 different operators so far in this game. You play what's needed. Comfort picks are not something they can always go for, especially when the two teams really know one another. And I really wonder how much these two scrimmed one another and prepared for matchups in the past. But it definitely shows that they know what they're playing against. And Citizen, being a player that ran on Na'Vi only a couple months ago, well, you're going to have to watch out for him and what he brings to the G2 lineup. As Kanto setting up with the Claymore to watch anybody coming up the oil pit. I assume that this was not put before, but in the first round, if you remember, Doki still ran up because he played from blue and was able to push in through lounge and find a kill that ended the round 2 of them, actually, inside a bar and moto. So, Kanto still setting up here. Maybe he'll be pushing down into blue at some point in time. But right now, this open layout from Na'Vi and having saves at the top floor is wasting so much time, Devin. Oh, here it is.
There we go. A nice early kill there. That's a C4 off the board as well. So, a lot of damage done to Kanto, but as long as they can continue to get the checklist done from here, it's not too bad. They have lost quite a bit of time. They still have to worry about the Vigil in play here. They do manage to spot Castle, so Nello will be identified and possibly attempt to be eliminated by Buck if he can get the right angle. They, again, they still have the 4 grenades as long as they can clear it. The Jaeger ADSs, which don't exist this round. Now that I noticed there's no Jaeger, so that's pretty good for them. Doki, however, managing to find the kill onto Uno means some other utility losses. He was likely bringing smokes that could have been helpful.
Look at the amount of time being lost there, but Kanto will find another one on Doki. A great kill there again. Is it just looking down below this whole time? Look at the way also that this entire hallway has been opened up. It's like Na'Vi are inviting G2 in to play inside of Armory. And maybe this is a strategy they're going for. Bait them into that false sense of security. Virtue will take a bit of damage here from below as he's going for the cross. Just checking the central hallway, but we're 40 seconds, and the Maverick can hear that sooty torch just opening up the hatch very, very slowly. Doffia's in the back. Nello will get one. Kendra will net the kill with the C4. Kanto Ricchetti down. Everybody is and right behind the softball right now, and all the floorboards as the impact. Nello will catch them all. Virtue's down. The castle is somehow still alive. Perfect shot from Nello. Oh my god, swinging around the corner. The hole that is meant to check if anybody dropped from kitchen is used for the pre-fire, and wow, the castle, old as hell, worst gun in the game, still hitting shots. That's Nello. It's a 3-1 for Na'Vi.
It was interesting the way the castle barricades, rather than being used primarily in the middle floor to help the roam, or even the top floor, were used to seal off blue and dirt to allow them a lot more freedom to play inside Arsenal, which helped them fight that hatch, because the hatch, of course, becomes, a very good killing spot for the attackers. But when it countered so well by giving positional freedom to the players in Arsenal, you see how well that could work out even for the ump. And that was a big problem. As you said, G2 kind of being invited in by Na'Vi really worked out to Navi's advantage in terms of their ability to land a lot of those shots from below, because there are only so many positions and angles on that hatch. And like I said, the positional freedom allowed defenders to get to those angles. We're going to see actually a rare castle with a shotgun here being brought by Doki. So that'll be interesting. Maybe we'll see that more once if Mozzie loses his secondary shotgun as well. But he's not being played this round anyways. But just mean to have someone else that can do some remodeling. We are going to have Panics also with the Bailiff. But meantime, G2 not changing their lineup whatsoever. Will be interesting to see where these castle barricades end up if they're in the usual spots. For the most part, we do see at least one on the doorway between gym and hallway. Very likely on the window as well, but I couldn't tell for sure. They will, of course, have some setup here in cash to try and be able to hold as long as possible from that flank. And the Yokais, if the Echo of Nello can stay safe, could of course cost them again, because once again G2 are not bringing an IQ to counter that.
So again, Goyo is not in play. Wamai is not in play. It's huge. We're back to how it was in the last season. You just can't use this sort of utility, and both teams should be profiting from this. Even with these two operators banned, that is something that hurts the defenders. Na'Vi are still at a 3-1. So looking great all over. They're winning church. It's working well. And as you said, if you can keep that Echo alive in this round, he can help you so much. And this, that's okay. That was very close. That's very close. You do not want to do that, but fair enough. One player from Na'Vi will count their lucky stars as able to walk back into the kitchen and stick there for the rest of the round. I assume that a saves running that Jaeger in this round, but again, cannot be too sure. Some reinforcements, some stuff to slow down a take into cash, as you see, but there's actually nobody inside of cash, Devin. It's really empty there.
Yeah, they had set up and dedicated some reinforcements there. You'd think they'd want to play it a little bit longer. It is halfway through the round, but yeah, this is a quick fallback. They really wanted to keep bodies alive, but also looks like they want to have presence on the middle floor here to fight Virtue. Having saves down there, who's been decent at fragging on that roll. But all that's just going to do is encourage Virtue to take another path. They are going to, of course, need to take logistics, and they can see from losing the drone there, they're going to have a tough fight to do so. And it's even going to be risky to have the Jackal peek down to look for footprints at that point, losing his face. ADS being clear, and Diffuser actually put in a safe position relatively, as they're trying to make sure that they don't lose it peeking a window, and then have it stuck in front of a window.
There's the Jaeger, and they know that he's there. Virtue's ready for him. A grenade's going to be thrown, but not timed at all. This will allow Uno, though, to come around the corner, and there's the clearing up. 1 kill. Default cam is down. And there's a Maestro camera on the floor here trying to give info over to Doki. You hear it just rolling around and turning from one side to the other. The Diffuser's still outside here of the window. And guess who's going to be sticking inside of the smoke for a second? It's Doki. And he's going to run around the corner here, going out for the kill, and he'll find one more on Citizen. His ex-teammate Phanic's down, but Doki with a 3K, and there's one more alive, but it's a bit too far away for that secondary shotty. And it's Pengu for 1 kill. The Yokai's watching all over. The Maverick will find 1 kill. And Pengu knows it's all about getting that frag, but he needs to recover the Diffuser. It's too far back. He's going to go and die for the kill, but he's so far away. He's downstairs in church. And oh my, Na'Vi prayed for everything in this round and outplayed G2 in every single way. Doki, playing inside of construction, netted the kills that were necessary. Man, that was so good from Na'Vi.
And that's the downside of leaving the Diffuser where they left it. It was relatively safe, assuming you can hold cash, which they should have been able to do. And that's the big problem right there. Losing cash, really everything kind of collapsed from there. And then everyone was able to fight logistics because they were able to fight from the construction connector as well. That left G2 in a tough spot because they had to worry about the doorway as well as the soft wall into construction. It's just G2 lost a little too much control in that round, fortunately for them, but they are actually going to bring an IQ this time. And that's going to help them deal with the Vigil, as well as if an IQ or Echo gets brought again, which in this case it's not going to be, but still, reasonable assumption that it might. They're also going to have one less shield this time, as the Echo is bringing that second shield, so Kendra now the only one bringing a shield, but they will have extra impacts, I suppose. So outside of the IQ, though, still no changes on G2, but I think that is a good change-up. It does mean Uno, though, switching over to the hard breach, they are not going to have a Jackal now, so a little bit different in that respect, in that the Jackal really not as necessary on this particular bomb site, unless they want to track the players down on the middle floor. But, yeah, this is...
What's your answer? What's your answer? What do you do? What's your answer? What do you bring against the way that Na'Vi have been playing? But it's not like they've been quote-unquote roaming. It's not that you need to bring roam clear operators. Oh, hello.
Just do that. I don't know if we
Rash
host this
games?
or not.
I mean, it's still within the first 30 seconds of the round, and it's 2 players.
Yeah, I would assume we will.
Normally it is. Again, we're not admins. We don't know how this works.
We don't get to decide.
Nope. We're waiting on the admins right now, as G2 will continue. Until your admin calls it, you're going to have to keep playing. So it's in the moment. I'll wait until that decision is made. Na'Vi will definitely be trying their best, but G2 will continue to move on. There's the Zofia. I love this sort of play. No rehost. Okay, so we have the return, but fair enough. There's one right out trying to get the best of this round as Kenta Rocchetti is downed. But there's 3 left here from Na'Vi.
Well, that worked out okay. They managed to almost take down 2 if they could finish off Kanto. So not the worst start in trading back the 2 players they lost, who at least thankfully got back to the server. It's going to be still tricky a little bit for Na'Vi. They're probably a little upset now that they had to play this round, so they're just going to be playing a little bit of extra fire. That's going to be on Kendra to hit these smokes. Nope, he's not going to go for it, actually. That would have been a nice use of that hole in the defender's favor.
Definitely would be, and with Kanto just been picked up, you can still do some work, and Kendra is still peeking every single time. I'm not sure about this. It'll get him shot at some point in time, but there's more as the X-Kairos being destroyed. It's not going to matter much, as I assume that wall has just been opened up. One more smoke canister being thrown out. And things have really gotten super slow in this round. There's one player sitting right above that destroyed balcony, and Uno will try to pressure from the subroof window. And There's shotgun around the corner. Won't be victorious just yet, but Kendra's going to be able to slow things down. Nello's dropped on the floor. What a shot from Kendra to hit the head of Citizen. And Panics is ready for the rotation. He just needs to call it. There's one. He'll find a kill from behind. Good kill on Kenta Raketti. And Nitrocell is being primed. There's one player down on the floor. It's Uno left alive. Kendra turns around the corner, making sure that he can save this round for its team. As Uno is low on ammo, is being tagged through the floorboards from below inside a stock. He'll finish Nello, but it might not be worth it at all. A round that had started in a 3v5 might actually turn into a Navi victory. Yes, it will. 3v5, no rehost, no nothing. It's Navi victorious regardless.
Well, that's definitely going to give you some confidence. That's equal to the reverse sweep that we saw from Empire, just because you get a 3v5 and you're already tilted like that. You lost some players who might have even still needed setup to do, and you go into that and still manage to pull it off. They almost turned it into a 3v3 very early into the round as well, and so Kanta was kind of in a deficit most of the round, but overall just fantastic delay. And honestly, they played very well in terms of playing very flexible. You saw how far the smoke was able to rotate around to garage, back and forth. Just playing flexibly to adjust for their lack of manpower worked out for them. And now they switch sides. So we'll see how things go for Navi. But they're going to play with a little bit different lineup. Pretty much the lineup that we saw come out from G2 that last round. Kanto gets a sneak in the CAD. Good choice for Church. Pretty much always, I think it's worth having CAD to force Maverick to have to do certain hatches or to make it harder for Habana to try and get the hatches that Habana has to get. So I think it's generally worth doing. Plus, you get the TCSG, which will be nerfed possibly in the near future if the mid-season patch
should be. It should be.
So that's going to weaken Kaid a fair bit, unfortunately, for Kaid players. But it might just mean the difference between one shot extra. So
honestly,
might not be that big a deal.
If you're a Kaid or a Goyo player that's so set on the TCSG, you knew that this was coming at some point. The TCSG was a two-shot to like one side of the map to the other. It's ridiculous. The
Vector also gotten a slight buff, so at least it's not as bad switching over to that.
Yeah, it got more ammo, but also in the patch that we already had moving into this second half, it made it so the TCSG is way more reliable. It's always a two-shot to open the wall, whereas before you didn't know. Also, if you were up close, if you were at a certain distance beyond like 6 or 7 meters, it would only be a bullet hole. Whereas now, it's no longer the case. There's always destruction that you're doing with it. So it makes sense. I had a whole post about this actually right before we started PL. So there's a lot to learn about in that way, because these are small changes that are very much quality of life changes that are meant for the best, in my opinion. But here we are, G2 sitting inside a utility, Navi setting up. It's of course G2 and Church. It's a very defensive-sided map in general. How do you play this? You're bringing all the self-destruction plus double hard breach. You're good to go as Navi when it comes to just purely the ops.
Well, obviously they got to worry about things like time management, but I don't think G2 are really going to do much to delay it, just because they're playing the typical downstairs setup. Not really going to go push for any of that roam. They don't really need to. This is the round where they kind of feel out this defense, see how it works for them, and see if they need to go more roam heavy in the future. They also get a chance to kind of get a preview of Navi's time management and how they set up their little checklist they do. No Echo being brought to the IQ, not as necessary, but there we go. A nice C4 kill onto the IQ I just mentioned. So a little bit of less intel coming out for them, although I imagine they probably spotted most of the gadgetry by now, as there's not really any operators that are bringing late gadgets like Legion or Wamai. Good shots down from below, though. Citizen takes actually the brunt of that damage, as Doki only takes a fair bit. But he should be in good position to still open the hatch. Assuming he gets that done, and this fight here gets won by saves. Could look pretty good for Navi.
So when Navi were sitting on this defense, they double reinforced that side of blue and leaving only one side soft for rotations. I'm not even sure if they even had an angle for rotations in blue. They pretty much were barreling down the hatches and staying in there. But you see the rotation, you see the soft hole, and this allows the Zofia saves to do work in the back, close to finding a tap there, but you can use this as bait. The Habana looking the wrong way at the wrong time. Doki realizing that there's a shield right in front, he's gonna have to go for the gunfight here. His teammates, well, they're supporting him from above. He's found one, but Uno's gotten another, And the Zophia's pushing up close inside of blue. Virtue with one on Odoki. Saves, and Nello will find one of their own, leaving Nello and Saves the last two alive. Citizen should get picked up here, but no, it's an angle perfectly held by Saves. Pengu last alive. He's gonna go and try to rush this diffuser being planted, but Nello's ready for him, and round 7 will go for Na'Vi again on this Church defense. It's a 6-1 for Na'Vi, guaranteeing a point.
It's not a Monday if G2 ain't losing. Unfortunately, we did at least have Dan breaking the mold today by doing quite well, but yeah, G2 not looking great. However, we did just come off of a full reverse sweep game, so not out of it yet for G2, but they definitely can't do the full reverse sweep because, well, they can't get 7 points. So let's see if they can get even close to 6. However, the way Na'Vi are playing and versus G2, I am feeling a lot more confident in Na'Vi pulling this off. I mean, not just points overall, just the way they're playing seems to be a lot more responsive than G2, who are trying to primarily play their strategies and just ending up in situations where it seems like Na'Vi are the ones dictating how things are being played. And we say that a lot about this game, but it really is important to play your own game in Siege, to play the way that you think you need to be playing, or to, at the very least, adapt very well to the enemy team. One or the other, but playing your own game, I think, is even better because confidence can really factor in, and you can really dictate how the other team plays and force them to respond to what you want to do. We're going to see something different here. We're going to see, well, different for G2 as well because they had only played one round, but they'll be playing Cash with a Mira, which is a little bit different. They're also going to have something to deny the wall in the mute, something we did not see from Na'Vi. So this overall should, in theory, go at least differently than how it did when Na'Vi run this defense. Whether they'll have a different outcome, it's hard to say, but they're definitely going to have a fair bit of C4 available with 3 different operators on defense having that. So they'll definitely be looking to push back here.
I'm very curious about that Mira because we rarely see Mira actually in play in EO, right? So on top of all of that, it's a site or a map specifically where she's banned a lot on. The site we don't really always see her being played on. We're gonna see though that usual Mira strategy of putting one window inside of the hallway and it can look all the way down through Cache into construction. Very common strategy, but the big question is always where do you put your second window? That's always the big question. I'm not sure where it was set. Oh, there it is. Okay, so right outside, right on that wall. So you can pop it at any point in time and start doing work, especially if you know you're going to lose that wall. You can blindside the attackers in a very interesting way there.
It definitely seems like an interesting kind of counter Maverick play here. Maverick's trying to counter it as well. Nello just trying to open things up to get the mute jammers as he does, and that helps the ball get open potentially. There we go. And just overall a nice setup for attack here. Good time management as well. Still getting that done within about the minute mark. And then 2 kills though coming out and at least traded by Panics onto Kanto. So Kanto and Uno getting 1 each.
There's a good run out there using the wall, but it leaves server completely open now to attacks from Garage. If you can hold out anybody pushing up from Lounge, then there's potential. And Panics, of course, will take no damage from that goo mine. As if you haven't played the game or watched anything in the past, well, month or so, goo mines don't do that initial tick damage. It's only over time that, you know, it happens. You should get that visual on your screen. But yeah, 2 angles now to push in. 1 from Garage and 1 from server. You lost 1 player. This is basically taking Garage for 1 player lost. That's fine. It's one of your 2 hard breachers. That's completely okay because you're not going to really need them. You do need, though, to clear nitro cells, and that's what G2 should have a ton of here. At least 2 in play between Uno, Virtue, and Citizen. I'm not sure if Virtue or Uno used one of theirs, at least maximum 2, I'm going to say. There's pre-fire around the wall, that's the SMG-11, but there's 1 nitro, second one shot midair. But Virtue will find a finisher. Uno peeking for the second, and they know what the last is. Uno will collect the third one, I believe, in the round. As Saves will go down right the outside of the server. Unfortunate, but yeah, that's what you had to watch for. It is all set, and well done by G2. It's possible to have a sweep back victory as we saw in game 1, but right now it still has Na'Vi all over it.
Yeah, definitely. It was an interesting idea though, the way they were playing with the window and trying to kind of counter the wall meta. At the end of the day, Maverick just wins that. He's so much more flexible in how you can take that. There's unfortunately not a soft wall for them to really fight through to take full advantage of the window. and they never really went to pop it to kind of offend back a little bit. So, it didn't work the greatest. We will see an interesting setup here with the Mute Mozzie combo with Vigil, the usual setup with the castle. But one of them being a 6th pick to try and sneak it in there. And then the Pulse on top of that, I think is an interesting idea. We'll see if he plays upstairs to help his teammates out, or if he's going to be playing downstairs just to try and spot where the approach is coming from. But this is a good shot for G2 operator-wise. They're also not bringing the IQ this round, which would be very helpful for spotting the Vigil, the Pulse, and also the Gadgetry. So that would have been pretty helpful to have, but at least there's not an IQ to deal with. I mean, I like what G2 are trying to do, and Na'Vi are doing a decent job of countering for the most part, but they are starting to lose a little too many gunfights or too many trades to really be able to have enough man advantage to make up for some of the shortcomings on these attacks.
5 seconds to insertion.
So again, how the castle will be used up in this case. There's still one more barricade that Pengu can sit down, and yeah, reinforcements from the outside in make it more difficult to grenade around the corner. So you don't have a... Oh my god! Did he actually do that? Somebody stop him! Somebody call the Metropolitan Police! He's done it to Madman! Doki, the advantage of head height! Gonna find a kill on Citizen. His ex-teammate close to getting the second there, but finally gonna get dropped. I cannot believe it there. Oh, that's a great start.
Well, you knew getting 2 kills from outside like that was going to be a bit of a tall order, but getting the first pick was definitely a really nice job by Doki. Unfortunately, being hard breach, he's kind of important. So he needs to get back up. And luckily for him, teammate able to get him back up. So he's going to be a little worse for the wear. A little bit easier to potentially kill him through the kitchen floor if need be, but at the end of the day, I guess at least Citizen managed to roughly burn the minute by just, dying early.
Fair enough. Navi's still all up. You see all the bullet holes here that Kendra's opening up. He wants to spot anybody moving in from construction into bedroom. In the meantime, Nello giving all the information on a drone. You destroy that mute jammer. But again, this is a top floor roam for a bottom defense in church. This is why you have this on logistics with all the holes that have been opened up, because if your opponents fail to push you out, then, well, you're going to be able to still do some work on them. Another one there for Doki is going to find Virtue. A lot of damage done here from Doki still, while being low on health. There's Nitrocell being prepped, and Uno knows that his opponents have moved away, so the Habana will continue her work. Doki will be able to open up the hatch in just a second there. I'm not sure if he's going to repel for it or enter, but no, it seems like it's already been opened up. There's the drone being thrown in, and saves, just holding blue.
Well, things definitely slowing down with 50 seconds left. The attacker's hugely in the advantage here. It's on G2 to make some plays. At least they likely have some C4s left, but it's not like Castle's going to be a big operator to stop us here, and the Pulse does get spotted by a drone. So they're going to be looking to try and pressure him downwards if they can. Only problem is they're not really into sight yet, and they're only got about 30 seconds left to do it.
There's one more from Doki on Uno. He's finding the 3K. There's 2 left. And the castle barricades being opened up. Oh, with the torch, but it's Kanto for 1. Nello with a beautiful angle there. And saves us down, but you gotta watch so many angles. Panics will hit the last shot on Pengu. And there it is. Na'Vi victorious. My. Well played. 7-2 on Club. Man, both of these teams have not had the best track record on this map, but Na'Vi really looked like they were in control.
Yeah, unfortunately for G2, I was not on a sick day or anything, so they were going to have to deal with losing because I'm casting it. Sorry. Doki, though, he comes back onto the team and top frags. That's what you want to see, is that long payoff for being patient, keeping him on the team, keeping him involved, and making sure when he comes back strong. I mean, a little bit of a bummer for Blur, I suppose, in that he's not likely to get, pulled onto the team all of a sudden because of Doki doing poorly. So I imagine he'll find a nice position at some point, though. He looked pretty good. So overall, Na'Vi looking pretty good. I mean, G2, if you can only win half your matches, that's not a top 2 team.
I mean, after today, they're going to struggle through it. They're at 18 points so far. They're going to stay at that level. Na'Vi with this victory means that they're at 19 points. it continues. It will forever continue. Empire and Na'Vi both moving up means that G2 now is on the fourth set here standings wise in EU, and we still have 2 more games to go between BDS4s and Rogue Vitality. So that can also change. It's Europe. You're never safe, to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially when you're like teams that win every other match. That kind of really skews things weirdly as well, just because you're not necessarily dominating all the teams. You're just kind of depends on who's playing you on Monday that gets the advantage, it seems. Either way, though, G2, I mean, they're looking decent, just not great. Like, they're not able to close out those rounds. You can see some potential from the team, especially on Wednesdays, unfortunately for them. But
look,
if they could just do that on Mondays, come on.
I can't believe it, but even with 2 players down, Na'Vi still won the round. So let's go for an interview and have a quick chat with our winners of this matchup, and then I'll come back to you in a minute, Devin. Good evening, Doki. Congratulations. Very well played there from you and the team, I have to say. It was very surprising because Na'Vi coming in, you were a team that still needed to work on a lot of things. You always had changes in players, so it seems like we don't have audio. Okay, in a second, we'll try to fix this with Doki. Doki, could you turn on your mic? We can't really hear you on here. Production. I don't know if anybody can hear him right now, but Jack, that's a great start.
Do you hear me?
Yes, there it is.
Hello.
We got him. So, Doki, congratulations on your victory. It's against G2. Big plays from your team at Na'Vi. You're back, that's for sure. No shortchanging this one. How do you feel being back in the saddle here, outside of just being a support player for the squad?
I've been waiting for this interview for 6 months. I've been waiting every single day for the past 6 months for this interview. And although G2 are my friends, there is no better team we could have beat to get back into Pro League. So yeah, what can I say? I mean, it's been a while, so I'm back.
Was it an active choice to go for Clubhouse? Was this something you prepared on? You prepared to take G2 to it with some strategy, or how was it?
I mean, we didn't want to play G2 on a frag-heavy map, so we eliminated Coastline, we eliminated Boiler. More structured maps like Cafe, Clubhouse, maybe even Consulate, we were fine to do. So we kind of gave them the choice, and we were like, you pick it, you pick into our playing field, and then we'll play.
So very well done there to kind of push that ban phase into your side. But there was both a Goyo and a Wamai ban in this one. You guys went for that Wamai ban, Goyo away for G2. What's your take on this? Is it done on purpose between the two teams to kind of remove them and play what we consider the standard way of doing this? Or was it just, it happened to have been the case and both of you just want to slow it down?
So, obviously I don't think anybody on G2 wants to necessarily play Echo or Maestro. I don't necessarily think they want to do that. So we took away Wamai. We knew they'd probably play it, especially on Clubhouse. It's a strong operator. We kind of wanted to force them onto the Echo or Maestro role. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure if they did, to be honest. My head was too much in the game. I have no idea. I was just shooting people. But, I mean, yeah, that was our thought process behind it. So,
I mean,
I guess it worked.
There was that round where both you and, I don't know, I don't remember who it was, but Kendra maybe, that you both dropped in the round, 3v5, cash defense.
Me and Saves, yeah.
You and Saves, okay.
Yeah, we crashed in the prep phase and we were like, guys, can you call for a rehost? And like, I don't know, Nello was crazy. He's like, and he didn't call for the rehost because he was calling strat. And we were like, Nello, call for the rehost. And he was like, no. So we didn't rehost, but we wanted it anyway, so I mean, it's whatever. I'm happy.
I wonder how the comms were in your team in that moment, because trying to come back from this 3v5 with the circumstance must be like a bit of a
I mean, we just played more aggressive, you know? Like, we just played more aggressive on site. We peaked them a little bit. Kendra was like, we're going to win this round. So we won the round.
Simple as that. It's all in your head. And Joystick also was talking about it in the interview in the last game. Sometimes you're thinking too much about things that don't actually matter to you. And in this case, you clear it out, you put the goal straight in front of you, and you get it done. Very well played today. 7-2 victory against G2. Doki, anything you'd like to say to the fans out there?
Yeah.
You're back. Come on, man.
I have a few things to say, so excuse me for, this might be a bit prolonged.
Don't get banned again.
But I won't get banned again, I promise.
Okay,
but first of all, I want to thank Ubisoft, actually, because this 6-month period has been, I guess, a wake-up call for me. I know on social media, I've not really been able to speak so much about it, and all I've been seeing is people's opinions and stuff like that, saying, like, oh, he was wrongfully banned, etc. It's not the case. I wronged. I served my time, so I guess thank you for that. It's changed me as a person. First of all, thank you to Ubisoft. And then, of course, my beloved team and support staff, including our manager and coaches. They didn't need to stick by me. They could have said, we can't do this. We'll see you later. But no, they stuck by me, and it means the world to me. It really, really does. You probably don't believe me, but I'm getting a bit emotional just now. So this feels really good. And thank you to everybody, and especially our supporters.
Welcome back, Doki. It's good to have you back. Reformed. It's
Thanks.
Always good. Sometimes everybody makes mistakes. The important thing is to see what the mistake was. You come back from it a better person, and that's what we want in the end. I hope that'll be the case. I'm very happy to have you back in here. I've been waiting for this interview for quite a bit, even though we're not doing it from the studio. We'll be seeing you at LAN this time around, but here
we will, hopefully.
We will, hopefully, when all of this is over. So for everybody watching from home, just stay safe in the meantime so we can all enjoy Siege events very, very soon. Doki, thank you again. Congratulations. I cannot wait to keep making those jokes on social media that everybody has been about certain things that we won't mention here. So good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.